Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Xiaomi15 here, coming at you with a very different video here in the FBL. A video that I haven't really made in the FBL before, and that's pretty much an announcement video. Pretty much announcing some of the stuff that I have, or the changes I've made to the team going into this season's playoffs round. Now, first thing I'd like to say, guys, is that as of right now when I'm making this video, the Brooklyn Braviarys are currently, I believe, 13-1. Yes, 13-1. 13 wins, 1 loss, and we are currently at the top of the grass standings, or the grass conference, my bad. Yes. I will say that we had a very well played season this year. Of course, there was a few rocky matches. Notably, I would say that some of the most toughest matches, Night Spear, hands down, the Flying Bird. Who else was there? Matt was definitely really well played as well. Yeah, those are the matches that I want to just I guess Shield was also pretty difficult also to face off against as well. But nonetheless, guys, that's not what this video is here about. This pretty much is my announcements of what's gonna change about the team so far. And what is basically going to change is that we decided basically that I wanted to use my free agents, my trades, everything now going into playoffs, because now that I faced most of the teams and now that I know that most of the matchups, going into playoffs, I decided that instead of taking my free agents earlier on like everybody else did, or like mostly everybody else did, I decided that now I wanted to take them because now I have a better understanding of the different matchups between some of the teams in playoffs, which pretty much gives me a better chance. I'm not going to say I have a shoo-in chance to win. It's definitely going to be harder, as most of the people that I've talked about in this are most likely going to come back and I'm going to have to face them again. So yeah, look forward to that. Let's hope that I can even make it past the first round. But I am definitely going to try. I'm definitely vying for the championship trophy. No matter what is stacked against me, I'm not giving up. One thing's for sure. Yeah. What? So now that I've gone ahead and give that long ass unnecessary introduction, I apologize for that. Now basically what I'm going to talk about is some of the changes that I made in the team and why I made them, and basically to justify them. Do I have to justify them? But I'm gonna do them anyways. Let's just jump right into it. First of all, I decided to trade here. This isn't free agent, and have I actually taken any? Actually, yes, I have to, because just took 1 free agent, 2 trades, 1 free agent, and the first trade I decided to do was Weezing. Now I'm gonna talk about Weezing, and I said it basically in my draft analysis. Basically, Weezing's a good Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, like, I did not upload a match, but there was definitely a match where I did face against what was it, Orlando Magikarps, and Weezing Florges Core was just a pain in the ass. But I don't have a good fairy type this week, so, or this season, so you know, that's one of the reasons that really led me to believe that Weezing is a mon that I might have to get rid of. I really only used Weezing 1 time this year for one thing, for one job that honestly it did its job, but I feel like there could be Pokemon that could do Weezing's job better. We talk about the fact that Weezing is a ground immunity, but really when you think about it, having Shaman as a ground resist, Rotom, Latias, Gliscor as a nice ground, you know, I don't think Fletchinder as well. I have plenty of ground immunities, so I don't think I'm going to be missing out by getting rid of Weezing or trading Weezing. Now the trade I made was with the oh boy, this is why I don't come prepared. What was the trade I made? I made a trade with the Perth Persians. I would like to thank them very much for that trade that they made with me, and they decided to trade. I traded my Weezing for their Grand Bull, which is something that I'm very thankful. Shoutouts to Hale for allowing this to happen. Hale? Is that who? Yes, I believe it is. Shoutouts for him for making this happen. Because I really wanted Grand Bull. Now, one thing that Weezing gives me, it gives me that poison typing. It gives me that Will-O-Wisp. But really, when you think about it, like, I have options to Will-O-Wisp with Rotom, so I don't think I have Will-O-Wisp with Jellicent as well, so I don't think I'll be missing out on that. Fletchinder, I'm just finding more and more options for Will-O-Wisp. So aside from the poison typing, I don't think there was anything Weezing gave me that no other mod could have given me, to be honest. Actually, now that I think about it, Toxic Spikes. The only thing Weezing could have gave me that no other mod gave me was Toxic Spikes. Moving on to what Granbull does better than Weezing is that it gives me a typing that is more useful to me. As one of the things that I missed out on the draft when I drafted my team was a Fairy type. And that is amazing. That means that Dark isn't able to be spammed against me. Now, I did have a Dark Resist. That was Girder, but to be honest, is Girder really a Dark Resist, considering that the most powerful Dark Resist, or the most popular most popular Dark type move is Knockoff? And does Girder want to take a Knockoff, considering it has to run Eviolite every week? No, not really. So I decided to get a better Dark Resist, which is Granbull here, and that's pretty much what I really did need to fix about my team going into playoffs. Now, Granbull, it might not have the best coverage move possible, but the fact that it has Intimidate, again, another ability that I did not have. The difference between Weezing and Granbull is Weezing gave me Levitate, which, you know, a lot of my mons had. Not a lot, just 2 of them, but the point is, like, 2 Levitate mons are more than enough, granted that I have also 2 flying types as well. So, Granbull here, it gives me Intimidate, it gives me a really good physical wall. It gives me a Fairy type, which means Ben's Hydreigon just doesn't have to click Dark Pulse. That means Sneasel and Weavile don't just get to click Knockoff and laugh in my face when my Girder loses its Eviolite. That's amazing for it, honestly. It gets Play Rough. It does get some nice coverage. It gets Ice Fang, Ice Punch. Its stats are decent. 120 base attack. That's not anything to laugh at. Granted, 120. There are a lot of mons that some mons really just come close to that, to be honest. Yeah, it gets the Fangs, it gets Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. Does it get Thunder Punch? Power Up Punch. It gets some things that I'll be able to play around with. Thunder Wave. Ooh, nice. Good thing this isn't Sun and Moon meta and Thunder Wave is broken as hell. But it also gives me Heal Bell, which is something that is really nice. Now, granted, it does not have the best reliable recovery options, but I do think that Granbull is definitely a lot better options than Weezing, and the reasons are what I've just stated. It's able to be a Fairy type, it prevents me from Dark Spam, it also manages to check dragons quite reliably, which is something that my dragon checks were basically my Mega Scizor. So now going into playoffs here, I feel like I have a more reliable dragon check in Granbull, which is why I'm not really sure if I'm going to bring Granbull. I don't know if I'm bringing Granbull quite honestly. I cannot tell you that I've built 4 playoffs as of yet. No, I have not. Granted, some of the mons that I've drafted, you might not even see them come playoffs round. They were just bothering me. It was just bothering me that my Weezing pretty much had served no purpose on my team, and I wanted something that could potentially serve a better purpose than Weezing. I'm not taking this mon to counter team any team in particular. This is not what this is. But I feel like Granbull could come in handy for certain things this week, better than Weezing could have ever had. So that's pretty much why I got Granbull there, for the reasons previously stated. Now, the next mon that I decided to trade here was, and this is going to be an upset. I know that there are certain channels, or one channel in particular, that's going to be a little bit disappointed about this trade, but I decided to trade Haxorus. Now, first of all, before you riot in the comments about how stupid of a trade that is, let me explain myself, basically. Give me a chance, alright? Let me defend myself. Now, at no point am I saying Haxorus and Weezing, the reasons for trading them are not the same. The reasons for me trading Weezing was that it didn't really serve a purpose on my team. Haxorus did serve a purpose on my team. It was my best sweeper, hands down. I mean, we're talking 147 base attack, 97 speed, decent 90 defense, which isn't the best, but you know, it could take a hit. It could take a priority hit from full. Haxorus was definitely one of my better sweepers this week. Sweeping Ben, potentially having a chance to sweep Matt, definitely was one of my most reliable sweepers this week. And as I said, even without a life orb, 147 base attack is nothing to laugh at at all. But at the end of the day, when I really thought about it, and I really saw Haxorus' performance this week, even though it can put in some work, I decided that a lot of teams would be prepared for it. Let's be honest here. Ben's gonna be prepared for my Haxorus, most likely Scarf Hydra. Jirachi, Togekiss, they're gonna be ready for it. Basically, there are a lot of ways that my Haxorus can be dealt with. Not to mention, Chilled had that Hippowd on there, pretty much that's just laughing in Haxorus's face. Taking +1 Outrages, taking +1 Aqua Tails, taking +1 whatever the hell it wants to take, and it just laughs in Haxorus' face, really. There are also other mons that can deal with Haxorus. Of course, the ice types as well. Weavile and Sneasel being rampant in this gen. Landorus from Doragon. They really just laugh in Haxorus' face. And it's not that Haxorus is the bad mon, it's just that I'm saying that based on the performances, based on the teams that are seeing in playoffs right now, I feel like Haxorus is dealt with. And people are going to be able to deal with Haxorus a lot better than other teams that have used Haxorus versus. That's pretty much a simple explanation right there. Now, once again, I want to say Haxorus is not a bad mon, and really, it doesn't. I don't regret drafting Haxorus at all as much as I regret drafting Weezing. Haxorus is an amazing mon, but I just think I want to give something else a chance, which is why I decided to make a trade with the Boston Keldeos for Mamoswine. Now, Mamoswine, of course, giving me a type that I never had before, of course, Ice type. That's great. Priority Ice Shard, that's great. Having an attack stat of 130, not as high as Haxorus, but that's still nothing to laugh at. Having both ground and ice offensive stab. Now, even though I did have a ground type in Gliscor, I mean, really look at Gliscor. Gliscor only has like what, base 95 attack. That's not as intimidating as a base 130 stab Earthquake with ice coverage. I think one of the things that I've heard someone say, I'm not really sure, but one of the things that Mamoswine does is an amazing wall breaker, and that's what I think I need more than a sweeper. I need a I need a wall breaker more than a sweeper going into this playoffs round, which is why I decided that Mamoswine was the best mon that I could choose as a sweeper. You know what I mean, as a wall breaker with the combination of Earthquake and Icicle Crash as both stab. Now it also does get Stealth Rock. I remember the days. Oh boy, I remember when I wanted Stealth Rock, I either had the option of giving up a move slot on my Gliscor to put Stealth Rock, or having to drag around my Crustle, which is... Crustle's not bad, Crustle got the job. I'm proud of Crustle, to be honest. So it's one of the mons that I'm proud of this season, because it definitely did get up the rocks that I needed it to get up, and it definitely did do the work that I needed it to do. I am proud. I am definitely proud of my boy Crustle, my boy Night Spear, but not having to bring Mamoswine and have rocks on Mamoswine instead of having to drag my Crustle, whereas I could have an offensive option and also the option of rocks, is much better than just not having that, having my Haxorus and just having to bring Crustle if I want to bring rocks. Mamoswine is so much better for that reason. It being a much better wall breaker. It might not be a sweeper, but it is a better wall breaker, and it is a option that I have for rocks. Also another fighting, or you know what, I'm not gonna say it's a fire resist. I have enough fire resist. But Thick Fat also having a really good ice resist, even though I do have a Mega Scissor, so what am I talking about when I need ice resist? But point is, Haxorus is just the wall breaker that I needed, the wall breaker that I deserved this season. Also having a few really good coverage moves such as Knockoff, Iron Head. What else can I talk about? Really, that's it. Also having rock coverage as well. I just feel like Mamoswine is definitely the mon I want going into this playoffs round. Anyways, enough about Mamoswine here. Next trade I'm going to talk about here is not trade, my bad. I did not trade this mon. Shoutouts, of course, to the Perth Persians and the Boston Keldeos for trading me their Mamoswine. And my bad, trading me their Granbull and their Mamoswine respectively. Thank you very much. If it does happen that I win playoffs, then it will be all thanks to you guys. If that does come to pass, we're not sure yet. Of course, I will have to put in a lot of work. It's definitely possible, but it's definitely a lot harder than it should be. Anyways, nonetheless, let's talk about their next, not trade, but free agent, our first free agent of the season. And what we're gonna be free agenting away is my Girder. Now, Haxorus by far was the mon that was hardest for me to trade. When I was talking about it, I was really going over and being like, really, is there really a set that I could use with Haxorus that could be more effective? And you know what, to be honest, probably there is. But I mean, I made my choices. The reasons you've heard them before. I'm not going to go back into Haxorus. We're talking about Girder now, and the reason why is because Girder hasn't done a lot this season, but Girder has done matches that I'm proud of. Of course, that match against the Boston Keldios where my boy Girder just went ham, beating a Conkeldurr, taking a hit from Sandforce Mega Garchomp, beating it with Ice Punch, like I was so proud in that match to see my boy Girder come through. And you see, the thing about Girder is that the main reason why I ended up drafting Girder in the FBL draft was because I like Conkeldurr, and I wanted Conkeldurr, but you know, I kind of fucked up with Scizor and giving and spending so many points to franchise my Mega Scizor that when it came down to it, I was not able to take Conk. So that kind of sucks. Even though I could have traded Haxorus for Conk, in the end, I think Mamoswine was just the better thing anyways. Now the thing about Girder here is that, yes, with an Eviolite and 85 base HP, it can be very bulky, but as I said, knockoff just being prevalent in this gen or in this draft is just what decided over me. I decided against it. Really, there are some teams that I could see Haxorus, not Haxorus, my bad, I'm still talking about Haxorus. I could see Girder coming through on, honestly, I can see it. But the fact that this mon doesn't really have, because really, Conkeldurr versus Girder, even though my Girder did beat a Conkeldurr, which I will forever boast about that, me having to bring Eviolite every match really hinders me a lot. Because it's either I don't bring Eviolite and I lose out on a lot of bulk, making this mon a lot weaker than it should be, or I bring a specific move or a specific item for a specific mon and then I lose out on the Eviolite, which is dumb in my opinion. If anything, if there is a FBL Season 3 and I want to use Conkeldurr, I will make sure that I use Conkeldurr and not Girder, because Girder really, it wasn't worth it, to be honest. It was not worth it taking Girder. I don't regret it, but going into playoffs, I think that Girder's slot could be better used from another mon. Long story short, it really is better to just give up my Girder, even though it pains me to do that, and just give another mon a chance to do something. And that other mon is going to be Rhyperior. I know some of you are surprised, which means now I have 3 ground types. I don't really think that's a problem. I have some pretty good water resists, so that's not a problem. Of course, I have probably one of the two best water resists in Shaman and Latios, so I'm not surprised. I also have a water immunity in Jellicent, so I'm not really afraid that I have 3 water types on the squad. That just means that electro types are just gonna be hindered a lot, which I like. And besides, it is not like I'm going to bring all 3 of these ground types on the same match. On the same team. No, I'm not gonna bring Mamoswine and Rhyperior, or I might not bring Mamoswine, Rhyperior, and Gliscor all on the same. No, that's ridiculous. No one's doing that. Hello. But another reason why I wanted Rhyperior is because Rhyperior, honestly, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, one of the ground types that I've seen. I'm gonna look at some ground types right now. Of course, some ground types that are notable are, of course, Dugtrio, Nidoking. How have I not even talked about Garchomp yet? Garchomp, of course, Excadrill, Crocodile. These are all amazing ground types. Landorus. How did I not talk about Landorus yet? Landorus, amazing ground type. But in my opinion, Rhyperior is up there with all of them, to be honest. Even though Rhyperior is a lower tier mon, Rhyperior, its sheer bulk, its sheer 130 base defense, 115 base speed, and its ability Solid Rock, being able to take 3/4 of the damage from super effective attacks. Hello? That is insane. Your Earthquakes, I'm eating them up. I am eating them up. Even though my Spadef stat is mediocre, it's complete bollocks. 55 base Spadef, I can invest in that and make myself be able to take certain special hits from non-stat mons which is amazing. Really, Rhyperior, again, another Stealth Rock option. Now I've been going from having to bring my Crustle every match to set up Stealth Rocks to just being able to have choices. Now I have choices. I can still choose to bring Crustle, but if I want, I could put Stealth Rocks on Rhyperior. If I want, I could put Stealth Rocks on my Mamoswine, which is something else that really I wasn't able to make use of rocks this week, and that was because of the reason, and because I had to sacrifice certain move slots, certain Pokemon slots to get rocks, which as this week, I don't feel I have to make sacrifices, because not only would I get rocks with Rhyperior and Mamoswine, but I also get a really good Mon. Coupled with that, also would be able to run certain items that are beneficial. Now, I could also run Crush Berry Rhyperior, to be honest. I might do that. You never know. But having to be able to run leftovers, having to be able to run a specific, I don't know, maybe a specific berry. I like my berries. Choice Band, oh boy, Choice Band 140. Hello, you're not switching in? No, I don't care, you're not switching in on my Rhyperior, you're just not doing it. If I choose Rock Polish, I have a potential sweeper now. Hey, you know, I mean, I did lose Haxorus, but if I want, I could Rock Polish up with my Rhyperior, get that base 40 speed going. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I just think that also another typing that I didn't have before, of course, the rock typing. Of course, I also have another ground type, but I also have a rock type, which is something that I really like having now. It gives me a little bit of options to switch in on some mons that I didn't have switch-ins for prior. Of course, I'm not gonna name them now, but yeah, I just think that Rhyperior is a ground type that I definitely had my eyes on in the match, but because I drafted Gliscor, I think that took my focus off of it. And now that I'm looking at the mons that are available, I realize, hey, you know what, Rhyperior can do some things for me. And now that I've made all these choices, I think that I am happy. I'm 100% happy with my team. If I lose now, I cannot blame my team. I can just basically blame myself for not being able to step up to the plate and make the plays and make the decisions that I need to make. That's pretty much going to be my downfall this season, when or if I lose. That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say for the team. I'm very happy with my trades and my free agent. Granbull, Mamoswine, Rhyperior. If you ask the question of if there anything else I would want a free agent or trade, I think I have one more trade, one more free agent. Not really. I'm happy with everything. Gliscor, Rotom, Snorlax, Jellicent. You know what, to be fair though, I'm not sure if I want Crustle. If anybody's watching this right now and they think that they would want my Crustle, then you know what, you can have it, I guess. Now, Crustle I've definitely brought in the past, and I think that I can use it in playoffs, and I think I can be successful with it, just because it's the only mon on my team that has spikes, or access to both Stealth Rocks and spikes, which is the only thing it has over my other Stealth Rockers, is that yes, it also has Stealth Rocks like them, but they don't have spikes, and Crustle does. I like that about Crustle. I definitely do. It's definitely, I don't want to blame it and say that it's bad, because it's been doing its job, really. My boy Crustle has been coming through, getting up those rocks for me every week that I needed to get up the rocks. It really has, and I'm really proud of this mon. It's definitely done a lot more than I expected it to do. If anything, I think if you do hear me make another announcement, I might take Garbodor just to get back that poison type, because really Bug and Rock doesn't give me anything that I don't already have. I have my Scizor, and now I have my my Rhyperior. Oh, I already had a rock type. You see, that's the thing. The Bug and Rock typing, it basically negates the Rock typing if you really think about it. The Bug, its typing is not really good because that gets rid of certain resistances that Rock had. But if you really think about it, I might take Garbodor. I'm not sure. Really, Garbodor isn't bad, really. Garbodor would not only give me spikes, but it will also give me toxic spikes. Who knows? Maybe that's something I can make use of in playoffs. I'm definitely thinking about it. Just know that I'm thinking about it. The whole spikes, toxic spikes combination is definitely something that I'm thinking about. But I don't know if it's even worth it, if I might even bring it in playoffs. I would definitely have to, maybe I should start now looking at what I need, what I don't need in playoffs, and maybe then I'll come back and say, yeah, I'm gonna take Garbodor because I need those toxic spikes. But then again, even though there are still some poison types that might just be able to soak up. Actually, now that I look at it, there are some teams that don't have poison types. Yeah, But then again, they do have steel types that are just able to ignore them, so Mondos, or some Mons that are just above the ground, so they're able to ignore the toxic spikes, if you really think about it. And yeah, other teams just have poison types so that they could just absorb it. Yeah. So, probably not gonna take that. I'm really not gonna. But who knows? If you guys see another announcement video, don't be surprised. But this has basically been the announcement video. Thank you guys for watching. The Brooklyn Braviarys are definitely gonna try and make the greatest push to win playoffs, guys. I guess I'll see you guys with my next match, which should be uploaded after this is uploaded, which is against the Jacksonville Jirachis. We're not sure if that match is gonna happen. If it doesn't, don't be surprised. But you know, so yeah. See you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.